going beyond intellectual understanding.
Question: can you provide any tips on getting beyond an intellectual understanding of the falsehood of me? Although I seem to understand what you say, I still act like I believe I am a mind body, and I experience depression and anxiety related to threats to the mind body. Does reflection or meditation on the non-existence of the me help? Or is it just listening to the pointers? Or should I simply not worry about it? I get backed into a corner with myself, trying to fulfill admonitions such as, do not seek, do not meditate, just be, but do not try to just be. Stay in pure naked awareness, but do not try to stay in pure naked awareness. You are already there anyway. There is nothing to do. But why do I continue to think there is something to do?
The most important part of the equation is clarifying who and what you are. In other words, seeing or recognizing your natural state or real being as it is. The me or lack of me is secondary, because the real nature of who we are is not seen as it is overlooked. We tend to seek identity in concepts. The mind provides a conceptual image of who and what we are. That is the me concept. If we try to wrestle with the me, we are bound to come up short. And I suggest starting with the positive side of the equation. You cannot doubt your own self, your very being itself. Start by looking at that. Go by direct experience and have a straight look at the most important fact of your own experience, yourself. The essential message of the non-dual traditions is that there is a reality and you are that. Note the clear and direct point. You are that. This means that here and now, whatever this ultimate reality is what you are. There is no attainment, awakening, shift, or event implied or needed. There are no steps and stages. This is where most popular presentations go astray. They get you so wrapped up in seeking for something you do not have that you overlook the point that you already are what you are seeking. Regarding your comments,
although I seem to understand what you say, I still act like I believe I'm a mind body, and I experience depression and anxiety related to threats to the mind body.
it is natural and intelligent for the body-mind to respond to actual threats, that is, intelligence in action. But barring that, when the sense of who and what we are is unclear, there is a tendency to identify our being with something objective. The body-mind is a useful appearance at its level, but associating our sense of being with some appearance is bound to cause trouble. The best approach is not to struggle with the identification, but to be clear on what your natural being really is. The false identity will then naturally stand out and be seen for what it is. Anytime there is struggle, we are looking in the wrong direction.
Does reflection or meditation on the non-existence of the me help? Or is it just listening to the pointers? Or should I simply not worry about it?
Anything may be of some help, but the final issue is, do you know who you are? That is the essence of it. If that is not clear, nothing done or not done will be conclusive. It may have some benefit, primarily if it encourages us to look at who we are. If we do not get to that, the approaches, meditations, paths, and practices will go on indefinitely.
I get backed into a corner with myself, trying to fulfill admonitions such as, do not seek, do not meditate, just be, but do not try to just be. Stay in pure naked awareness, but do not try to stay in pure naked awareness. You are already there anyway. There is nothing to do.
All these pointers and pseudo non-dual quotes are not going to help much. They all assume that you are a limited person, separate and apart from what is true and real. The root concept is in full swing. The core point that you already are that non-dual source is lost in the shuffle. It is best to drop all these concepts and pointers and see what you are. It is not even a matter of staying in pure naked awareness. That quote sounds good, but is entirely dualistic. It leaves the assumed entity in the game with some task to perform, to stay in awareness. It is better to drop all notions and see your own undeniable being or nature as it is.
But why do I continue to think there is something to do?
Because there is. See for yourself what is true. See what your real nature is. In this seeing, the basis of the belief in the concept of the imagined self is resolved. If you assert there is nothing to do as a mere concept, without the positive truth of who you are being clear, you will run into the dead end you are describing. Even though the concept is that there is no one here to do anything, in practical experience, we are still giving belief to that assumed separate person and taking that to be a true definition of ourself. Just asserting there is no one here over and over is ineffective. Even if I get some intellectual appreciation of that notion, I may still have no clue as to who and what I actually am. To sum up, put the emphasis on the positive side of the equation. Start with the one thing you are sure of, the fact of your own being. Look directly into this doubtless reality to see, appreciate, and know it as it is. It is very simple because it is the one constant, ever-present fact of experience that can never be doubted at any time. With some sense of that, it becomes easier to look at any concept or definition in the mind about who and what we are to see if it is true. How do we do this? By comparing it against our own direct experience of what has become clear in step 1. This will get us off the conceptual level and into direct experience. Avoid looping in popular non-duality quotes and platitudes picked up casually in books and meetings. There is no real assurance that these are true or helpful. Many times they are misleading. The basics of non-duality are clear and straightforward. Stick with the basic few points and see them for yourself.